Hello. Hi. It's me. Yeah, hi. How are we feeling today? We are reading is it Vol.3 chapter 93. Hope you got all that, because I am very I'm very articulate. Okay, I was checking if the captions caught it. They did not catch that. Sorry, I was mumbling for people that go by the captions. I was mumbling, but we all know what we're reading today. It's in the title. MAWAGE. MAWAGE is what brings us together. Yeah. This next chapter is called Grand Fishy Wedding. So we know what that means. We know what that means. Oh my god, we know what that means. Do we know what that means, guys? We know what that means, right? I'm checking. Yeah. Oh, we'll be fine. Okay, listen up. Yesterday, my sister was doing things with wood, like woodworking stuff. And so there's like wood dust in the air. I ran the air purifier on high all last night, but it was like it's like on everything, okay? So my throat may not be great. In fact, my eyes might not be great. My eyes were burning so much yesterday. I wasn't even in the place. I wasn't even outside where they were doing that. I was just in here at my computer drawing away. I was drawing for like 6 hours straight. I'm crazy. Anyway. I have tea. I need more fruity teas that are not caffeinated. I only have one kind left, and the other one tastes like licorice, so I'm going to drink that. Anyway. Grand Fishy Wedding. Should we get started? Shall we get started? I think we shall. Page 169. Hey. No, okay. My nose, everything. My nose, my eyes, my ears, my lips, my brain? I don't know. I can't name other things. Okay. Grand Fishy Wedding. Okay, let's go. Liu thought he could feel Prince Jing's gaze burning into him, but the waiting baby was more important, so Liu didn't have time to think about it too much. I don't know where we left off. Where did we leave off? Together. How about I try? Not only could they give birth, they could also breastfeed. Okay, that's where we left off. That oh my god. Okay. Let me read this first sentence again. Liu thought he could feel Prince Jing's gaze burning into him, but the waiting baby was more important, so Liu didn't have time to think about it too much. Baby bottles didn't exist in ancient times, so Liu thought of another way. He asked the wet nurse to squeeze the milk into a bowl, then he picked up Dabao and a tiny silver spoon, then started trying to spoon small amounts into Dabao's mouth. Dabao continued to scream, shaking his head desperately. Oh, did this child not like milk? Thinking back on it, he always fed the fish babies top-quality fish food and peach blossom pastries. Perhaps that was the problem. The fish babies liked fresh sweets, not bland milk. But what could he do? At the moment, the babies weren't fully grown and didn't even have teeth. They could only drink milk. Liu said gently, Dabao, either you drink the milk or you go hungry. After being gently threatened by his fish dad, Dabao pouted, then drank the milk in the spoon with tears in his eyes. Liu's first attempt went smoothly, but the next time, Dabao accidentally choked. Now he refused to drink from the spoon no matter what. Oh no, Dabao. No. Liu thought about it, then ordered someone to bring a plate of peach blossom pastries and set them to the side. Dabao stared longingly at the peach blossom pastries with his sparkling black eyes, but it was no use. His unsympathetic fish dad only let him smell the pastry. When Dabao was momentarily distracted, Fish Dad slipped another spoonful of milk into his mouth. Prince Jing, who had been watching the entire time, realized he'd been mistaken. He'd been expecting a completely different kind of feeding. He walked toward Liu. Liu was holding Davao, humming an unknown tune. When Prince Jing approached and saw gentleness in his eyes, his heart felt soft. Hey, I have a question. Is it Liu or is it like Liu? Did I not look at the fucking name guide this whole time? Is it Li or Le? No, give me a pronunciation guide. Mary Lee. Oh, it is Lee. Oh, it's Lee. You. I'm on Xiaohongshu. I need to know this. Oh no. Okay. I also know that I've been pronouncing our fishy baby's name wrong this whole time. It's Sibao, not Sibao. Pathetic. It's Sibao. Sibao. Okay. Sibao. Alright, where was I? I'm getting distracted. Liu was holding Davao, humming an unknown tune. When Prince Jing approached and saw the gentleness in his eyes, his heart felt soft. Imitating Liu, Prince Jing also picked up a child and fed him milk with another spoon. Occasionally, he glanced at Liu. Liu giggled quietly. Prince Jing had chosen Sibao. The other three all looked like little chubs, and only Sibao looked a little bit like Liu. Prince Jing really liked to hold Sibao. Whenever Sibao was I'm changing my mouth, and it's a process, okay? Trust the process. Whenever Sibao was being held by his dad, he'd smile happily, as expected of the most confused baby. He hadn't noticed difference between milk and fish food, and just wanted to be fed by his father. Stop! It's too cute. Why? That's so cute. Why is he so cute? I lost my place. Sibao finished the milk incredibly quickly. When he was done, Prince Jing went to pick up Erbao, but Sibao kept his fingers clenched onto his collar, unwilling to leave his father's embrace. When Dabao was finished eating, he also grabbed onto Liu. Then, as he was trying to console him, Erbao and Sambao started to cry even harder. They hadn't had their turns yet. Liu sighed in resignation. He and Prince Jing had no choice but to hold 2 children each. He felt like they were much better behaved when they were fish. When night fell and it was time to sleep, the babies still wouldn't let go. Liu discussed the issue with Prince Jing, his face red. Your Highness, they're still young. Maybe they're just not used to it. Let's let them sleep together with us. Before, when the fish babies were in the tank, they'd stayed in the same room as their dads. And Fish Dad slept beside them all the time. Why did they have to go sleep with a stranger, the wet nurse, now that they were human? None of them were willing to do that. Being a human wasn't better than being a fish at all. They couldn't move or speak, and they could only drink boring old milk. This was way too hard. The fish babies wanted to be held by their fathers. Sob, 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 sob. 5 sobs. 5! Okay. Prince Jing had always doted on Liu. Since Liu was the one to suggest it, he resisted the urge to kick the 4 babies out and nodded. Liu first put all the babies on the bed, then lay down himself. These days, he only had 4 hours to be human. It would be fine if he took a little nap. Prince Jing would take care of everything for him. Oh boy. But as soon as he lay down, the children immediately craned their necks and stretched out, wanting to stick themselves to him. If they couldn't reach him, they'd start to cry. Liu had to make sure each child was touching him. Dabao claimed one of Liu's arms, Erbao and Sambao claimed the other one, while Sibao grabbed onto Liu's leg tightly. Once Liu was completely surrounded, all of the babies were satisfied. But Prince Jing, who felt like his wife was getting further and further away from him, was not. Oh boy. Liu touched his finger, looking at him apologetically. Prince Jing held his hand back, gently pinching his palm. Babies had very limited energy, and they were now fully fed. They each nodded off to dreamland quickly. Prince Jing waited until the four of them were fully asleep before handing each of them over to the wet nurse, expression stiff. Liu, surrounded by his babies, was about to nod off when he suddenly felt cold. Ah, his husband was here. Liu wrapped his arms familiarly. Why can't I read that word? Familiarly around his shoulders. Is it missing something? Am I crazy? What is going on? Why can't I say that word? Their married life was harmonious. Every couple of days they'd have to absorb essence. Oh, if they ignored the whole pregnancy thing, Leo was very happy to absorb essence. But today, Prince Jing was a little different. He absorbed essence incredibly thoroughly. Leo's face was flushed, feeling both numb and tingly, and tears swam in his eyes. Originally, he hadn't thought he was capable either, but now he felt like something was about to come out. Huh? Huh? Was Prince Jing getting his revenge now for the time Liu accidentally bit him on the man tit? You really gonna say man tit? We're really saying man tit. Man tit. Watch me get banned. Why? Can he actually breastfeed? Man tit. Why? Is he actually gonna be able to breastfeed? Leo couldn't take this kind of stimulation. He felt like his soul was about to be sucked out of his body. He punched Prince Jing a few times, yelping. Prince Jing, who was doing his best to absorb the carp spirit's essence, glanced at the hourglass and then finally let go, holding onto Liu's waist instead. Aw, man. Aw, man. Visual learner. The next day, when they were feeding the babies, Prince Jing was looking down, focused on feeding Sibao, while Liu held Dabao. Liu's chest was sore and his legs were still shaking. Thinking back to the wild night he'd had, Liu couldn't resist glaring at the culprit. Why? Prince Jing felt his fierce gaze. He smiled, then licked his lips salaciously. They're nasty. They're so gross. I love them. Seriously? He couldn't even speak, and he was still managing to attack Liu with brazen flirtation. Whatever, it was fine if his husband was like this. It wasn't as if he didn't benefit. With Liu's continuous encouragement, Dabao and the rest of the kids slowly started to get used to being human babies. That was when the Emperor's edict arrived from the capital, appointing Liu and Prince Jing's official consort. Appointing Liu as Prince Jing's official consort. Prince Jing had done exactly as he'd promised and gotten Liu the title. Liu almost couldn't believe it himself. This wasn't just something the villagers on the streets called him casually. He was now Prince Jing's official consort, recognized by the Emperor himself. He was going to be recorded into the official family tree. Their marriage was set in stone. On the day the edict arrived, Prince Jing decided on the date of the wedding. Wang Ji had been preparing for it for a long time, and everything was ready so they could hold the wedding whenever they wanted. Prince Jing was just annoyed that all the auspicious days were too far away and that he had to wait even longer. Liu was amused by this rare childishness from his husband, thinking about how Prince Jing wanted to give him an official wedding even though they already had children. Liu's heart felt like it was coated in sugar. The Emperor has already agreed. Oh, this is Liu. Okay. The Emperor has already agreed. It's just a matter of time. Liu placated him, chuckling. Don't be impatient, Your Highness. Having tasted the sweetness of Liu's particular sort of comfort, Prince Jing continued to pout childishly, only calming down when Liu continued. At the same time, he asked Wang Ji to double-check everything that had to do with the wedding. This guy. It didn't take Wang Gonggong long to check at all. The only thing that was left was the most important aspect of the wedding robes. Prince Jing's robes had been made to order far in advance, and there were several backup sets waiting. Every single stitch had been inspected by Prince Jing, and all the accessories were made by artisans according to Prince Jing's designs, ensuring that each piece was completely unique. Liu hadn't tried on the consort's robes and accessories yet, but with Prince Jing's experience designing clothes for him, there was nothing to be worried about. Finally, the day of the wedding came. Prince Jing handed Liu his robes personally. There weren't that many servants, and Liu didn't have any family, so Prince Jing helped him change and do his hair himself. What? Stop! Soon, Liu was dressed in his bright red robes edged in gold, made from Yuehua brocade. Apparently, clothes made from Yuehua brocade gave off a serene radiance like the light of the moon, which was how it got the name Radiant Moon Brocade. The Yuehua I'm struggling. The Yuehua brocade was woven with with gold thread and phoenix feather thread, and embroidered with a majestic koi fish leaping amongst the clouds over the gate. A fish pattern was embroidered all along the collar and long train, shimmering with extraordinary brilliance. The belt was woven from soft gold thread and made to look like antique plant leaves. Made to look like aquatic plant leaves. Though it appeared thick, it was actually very light. A few small cute gold fish hung from the belt, tinkling as they moved. To match the outfit, there was a ruby and pearl headpiece topped with a circle of 36 small golden fish. Each fish was encrusted with rubies, and strings of pearls fell from the fish's mouths, covering Liu's face slightly to keep him partially hidden. Ah! Oh my god, I love him. I love it. I love it. That's so cute. Liu had never put on makeup before, but on this joyous day, he put on a bit of blush and lipstick, making him look even more radiant. I'm fine. I'm normal. After he'd made sure that Liu's entire outfit fit him perfectly, Prince Jing gave a small smile and went to change himself. Wang Ji waited on him and couldn't help but speak for his master. Consort, according to the rules, your robes should be embroidered with a phoenix. His Highness asked the Emperor specifically for the changes to your robe. Wang Ji had been in charge of planning the wedding, so he knew exactly which things Prince Jing had worried about. Prince Jing didn't need Liu's gratitude, but Wang Gonggong was very chatty and immediately revealed everything to the consort. Liu had seen Ye Qinghuan and the princess's wedding robes. He hadn't realized that even just the embroidery would require I can't read today, but I'm reading anyway, would require so much thought. He was suddenly overcome with gratitude. Soon, Prince Jing finished changing into matching wedding robes, except in black. Liu took a careful look and saw that Prince Jing's robes were still embroidered with the four-clawed dragon, as expected of a prince. But their belts were the same, in the shape of aquatic leaves, and he tied the silver bead that Liu had once given him onto his belt as well. His sleeves and hem were also embroidered with the same fish pattern as Liu's robes. They're so gay. Can't. Wasn't he secretly showing off their love? Liu gave himself a thumbs up for being so perceptive and noticing all the beauty in the world. Prince Jing walked over, lowering his head as though he wanted to kiss him. As he did so, a section of red string appeared from beneath his robes. Liu smirked and pulled it out. He wanted to know what the prince was wearing on such an important day. Liu was wearing Prince Jing's little jade figure. As he suspected, Prince Jing was wearing his fishy rock. Put together, they were a match made in heaven. They're so fucking gay. They're just so gay. Your Highness, consort, the time has come. Wang Ji was so happy he kept wiping his eyes. Prince Jing felt for Liu's hand beneath their robes, and the two exchanged a glance. Liu didn't have any family. His family was Prince Jing. Prince Jing helped him onto the wedding carriage, then sat inside himself. The red and green wedding carriage made a lap around Lofeng village, then returned to Prince Jing's residence for the bows. What? Plenty of villagers had come to witness the joyous occasion and followed behind the carriage. Liu lifted the curtain, feeling nervous as he looked down at the crowd of people. Prince Jing gave him an encouraging glance, and Liu gave a tentative wave to the audience. The villagers all knelt on the ground and cheered loudly. Long live the consort! The noise startled all the surrounding magpies into the air. Liu's heart leapt. In this moment, he really felt like he belonged in this ancient world. And guess what? There's an illustration and it's so pretty. It's so pretty. It's them in the marriage sedan. And in their beautiful, beautiful outfits. Everything as described. Oh, Liu is so pretty. I'll kill myself. I follow the artist who does the illustrations on Twitter. And they said that this one was the hardest to do because of all the details and stuff. But it's so pretty. It came out so well. Ugh. It's so fucking pretty. I'm crying. I'm not crying. You're crying. Okay. Let's go. Continuing. Dabao, Erbao, Sanbao, and Sibao were laying in a row on the bed. Today, there was only a wet nurse and no dads. They were utterly dejected. Faint music could be heard from outside. Sibao remembered that the wet nurse had said his dads were getting married today. He didn't know what getting married meant, but it must have been something good. Sibao attempted to flip himself upright, but failed. He waved his arms around angrily. Ah! I want to go to our daddy's wedding! Oh my god. I want to go to our daddy's wedding is in italics. It's brain. Sanbao also started to wave his limbs around, following his example. Ah! I want to go! Erbao turned to look at them. How? Oh no! I'm scared. They're gonna do something. They are menaces. Erbao, Sanbao, and Sibao each took turns awing at each other. After coming to an agreement, with Sibao in the lead, they all did their best to roll down from the bed. If they wanted to see their dads get married, they first had to get off the bed. Although babies weren't very strong, they could still achieve their goal by rolling. But they weren't even a month old yet. Once they rolled over, they couldn't roll back. Erbao, Sanbao, and Subao all lay face down on the bed. Ah! Save us! Dabao had witnessed everything. He gave a dismissive wave of his hand. Ah! You're all so stupid! This is stupid. That's the end of the chapter. Also, I'm not gonna wail like a baby, just so you know. They all are crying like babies, but I'm not gonna do that. I don't even know if I can. I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna try that. Okay, let's continue. We're on chapter 94. One Fishy Family. God, my hair is so soft. What the fuck? Okay. Prince Jing mentally kept track of Zhao Yu's transformation time. Although they took a lap around the village, the carriage sped up as much as possible when there was not a lot of people. The carriage driver had received a unique task. On the day of the wedding, he had to drive quickly, but not so quickly it disturbed Prince Jing and his consort. The driver was an old servant of Prince Jing's. In order to celebrate him finally getting married, he really went all out, practicing for this specifically for a month. Along the way, Prince Jing's guards were in charge of security, stopping any overexcited villagers from getting too close. Once the carriage safely returned to Prince Jing's residence, the next step was the wedding vows. The emperor was in the faraway capital, unable to attend Prince Jing's wedding, but that didn't stop his need to reward. It took Wang Ji over an hour to just to read the gift list. The group bearing gifts from the emperor lined up all the way from the room where the ceremony was taking place to the outside of the entire residence. There weren't too many guests invited to the wedding. Prince Jing wasn't a fan of commotion, but this was his and Xiao Yu's wedding. He couldn't just have a bunch of empty seats. So he asked the village head to bring some of the respected elders in the village as important guests. Auntie Zhu, who was close with Liu, was also invited. Most of the guests weren't nobles or aristocrats, but the couple didn't receive any less congratulations. At the ceremony, where one's parents would usually sit, sat the Emperor's edict, as well as Empress Xiaohui's memorial tablet. Just as Prince Jing signaled for the host to start the ceremony, a horse suddenly arrived. Ye Qinghuan got off the horse, travel-worn, and rushed to the ceremony excitedly. He's here! After they found out about Prince Jing's wedding, the House of Chang'an had to send someone no matter what. Ye Shizi had volunteered, at least in part because he missed his cousin, who he hadn't seen in nearly a year. Tianqi, it's finally my turn to congratulate you on your marriage. Congratulations on your marriage! Ye Qinghuan smiled and patted Prince Jing on the shoulder. For once, Prince Jing didn't brush him off. Instead, he smiled lightly and ordered Wang Ji to bring over a cup of wine. They drank it together. After drinking the marriage wine, Ye Qinghuan was feeling chatty. Besides, he had a lot to talk about. When Prince Jing had first left the capital, he'd sent a letter to the House of Chang'an asking them to be patient, observant, and flexible. They could not beg for mercy on his behalf, nor should they write any letters to the western border. After Prince Jing left, aside from the old Duke of Chang'an, who seemed to have limitless patience, everyone else was worried for him. In the past year, Prince Jing had suffered bandit attacks and locust infestations, and had even had to give away his job at the Ministry of Works to the sixth prince. Ye Qinghuan nearly went to beg the emperor to let Prince Jing come back. Fortunately, the old Duke of Chang'an had managed to convince him in time, asking him to trust Prince Jing. The old Duke of Chang'an could see what was going on. Prince Jing was currently in a very delicate situation. If the House of Chang'an stepped in, stepped up. No, not only would they be unable to help Prince Jing, they would cause all of Prince Jing's efforts to go to waste. Ye Qinghuan could only wait for something to happen. The wait lasted until Prince Jing asked the emperor for Liu's hand in marriage, and the emperor agreed. Ye Qinghuan had met Li Gongzi before. Li Gongzi. It must be Gongzi. Ye Qinghuan had met Li Gongzi before. Not only had they met, the entire house of Chang'an loved Li Gongzi, and they all thought this was a good match. Ye Qinghuan kept following the former duke's orders and never said anything, but Li Gongzi was a man, and was that was an indisputable fact. What about Prince Jing's future children? Ye Qian kept his mouth shut too and didn't tell Ye Qinghuan that Liu had already given Prince Jing 4 little Gongzi, and the matter of heirs had long since been a non-issue. As a result, currently, Ye Qinghuan really wanted to comfort Prince Jing. Don't worry, there will always be solutions when it comes to your heirs, Ye Qinghuan said quietly, pulling Prince Jing to the side. I shouldn't say this to ruin your special day, but my parents have both worked out a solution for you. As long as you have children, Li Gongzi won't have to face judgment and blame in the future. If you don't want Li Gongzi to suffer, you can find a kid of royal blood and adopt them. There must be someone suitable. Little does he know. Prince Jing raised a brow, then put his cup. What the fuck? Prince Jing raised a brow, put down his cup, and shook his head. Ye Qinghuan thought he knew Prince Jing well enough to guess his thoughts and tried. Do you perhaps look down on other people's blood? He didn't just look down on them. Prince Jing nodded. Ye Qinghuan said, If no one else, what about me? He scratched his head, saying, This is just a thought. The princess is already pregnant. I should be able to convince her to give you our next son. Don't misunderstand. I don't want to do this either. If it doesn't suit you, of course I will be happy to keep him. Ye Qinghuan's tone grew solemn, as though he couldn't bear part with his flesh and blood. You idiot. Why would you even say that then? Prince Jing didn't know how Ye Qinghuan had ended up here. He coughed lightly. When Wang Ji heard, he immediately brought the wet nurse over, with a child. Your Highness, the young masters are crying so hard, this old servant had no choice but to bring them to the ceremony. Wang Ji didn't dare tell him that in the brief moment the wet nurse had left, 3 out of the 4 young masters had flipped over and couldn't get back up again. They had nearly drowned in their tears and were inconsolable, no matter what the wet nurse did. Wang Ji thought that since it was lively here, perhaps the young masters would enjoy it, and decided to bring them to the ceremony. But now that they were out and had spotted Prince Jing and his consort, there was no way they would leave. The young masters wanted to see their dads get married. Prince Jing also missed his sons and gestured Ye Qinghuan over to take a look. Ye Qinghuan was completely bewildered when he saw the 4 babies. Each one was wrapped in a different colored swaddling cloth, gold and silver mixed, silver and black, and held in the arms of Wang Ji and a woman. Who was this? What relationship did she have with Prince Jing? Ye Qinghuan was confused. Wang Ji chuckled. The young masters insisted on wearing this. The wet nurse wanted to change them into something more celebratory, but they wouldn't let her. They started crying immediately. Prince Jing nodded, not assigning any blame. Wang Ji didn't know, but he knew the colors of these swaddles were the fish baby's original colors. Prince Jing took a bow from the wet nurse and expertly patted his back. This guy's really showing favoritism. Ye Qinghuan's eyeballs nearly popped out of his head. He couldn't help but ask, Wang Ji, whose babies are... Why did Wang Ji call them young masters? And why was Prince Jing so experienced with picking them up? Wang Ji slapped himself on the forehead and said, Yes, Shizi. Shizi? Yeah, yes, Shizi. So sorry. This old servant was so busy being happy he forgot to introduce you. These are His Highness's children. The consort, gave birth to them. Liu could give birth? Ye Qinghwan was thoroughly stunned. He slowly turned around and stared at Prince Jing, whose expression was full of pride. Wang Ji's words were too shocked. Ye Qinghwan needed time to adjust. Liu had given Prince Jing 4 kids? Men could get pregnant too? Wang Ji had no choice but to give Ye Shizi, who was about to pass out, a brief explanation. Although Wang Gonggong wasn't clear on the details either, Prince Jing had seen the whole process through. Plus, there was the gynecological expert and other physicians, and the 4 young masters as proof. He could swear to the heavens it was real. Ye Qinghwan could also tell that the 3 of the babies looked a lot like Prince Jing when he was younger. The one that Prince Jing was holding looked a lot like Liu. If it was fake, how could it all seem so real? Wait, Ye Qinghwan suddenly realized. He thought Prince Jing was childless, but he actually already had 4 healthy sons. Meanwhile, he, whose wife was still pregnant, had lost again. Fucking hell. This fucking guy. Everything's a competition with this guy. This is reminding me of that fucking... If you've seen Lo Jiahei, Legend of Hei, The Legend of Lo Jiahei, that one guy that keeps trying to challenge them. That's literally him. I can't. It's so stupid. The series, not the movie. Prince Jing knew Ye Qinghwan had mentioned adopting because he was being considerate of him, not because he wanted to be offensive. So he wasn't angry. He was just annoyed Ye Qinghwan was still standing there being a bother. They'd only had a brief moment of brotherly compassion before he wanted Ye Shizi to go somewhere else. There wasn't much time left, so the wedding vows had to happen soon. They had to do it during the pre-calculated auspicious time. Prince Jing gave the host another look, and they immediately started the ceremony. Liu wasn't used to such finery. All the pearls dangling into his field of vision were a little distracting. Prince Jing quickly walked to his side. "Your Highness," Liu called out with a smile. Prince Jing really couldn't smile enough these days. He reached out, and a warm hand enveloped his. As soon as their hands touched, all the commotion in the room settled down. Liu eyed a brazier. I know what it is, I just don't say it all that much. Liu eyed a brazier to the side. What's going on? Did the consort have to step over there too? He was worried he'd kick the brazier over with how clumsy he was, or burn the expensive wedding robes. Wow! Or burn the expensive wedding robes. Does the concubine have to step over it too? As a footnote, stepping over a fire is a traditional wedding ceremony to burn away bad luck. Okay. But he was fretting. Prince Jing wrapped his arms around him and picked him up lightly. Liu felt his feet leave the ground, and his mind went blank. In an instant, he was back on the ground with the brazier behind him. Liu's face was bright red. Not even the pearls on his headdress could hide his embarrassment. Prince Jing had actually carried him over the brazier in front of everyone. The prince was so smooth. The guests all laughed amicably. Ye Qinghwan laughed the loudest, and the Xinjiang behind them also went bright red. Xinjiang, I don't know how to pronounce this, is a woman who accompanies the bride when she is married into her husband's family. Is it like Xinjiang or Xin? Yeah, probably. Is responsible for teaching the bride proper etiquette. It was finally time to do their bows. Liu stood at Prince Jing's side. The two of them sincerely bowed to the heavens and earth and Prince Jing's parents. Finally, there was a deep bow between the couple. To be honest, they had been married since the day they signed the wedding contract. This was just a declaration to the rest of the world, declaring that from now on, you are mine and I'm yours. Prince Jing told Wang Ji to take care of the guests as he and Liu went back to their room. He had already formed the habit of regularly checking the silver hourglass. Liu's transformation time was almost up, so he had to keep an eye on him. On such a special day, he couldn't let Xiao Yu's experience he couldn't let Xiao Yu experience even a sliver of panic or shock. Once all the guests had left, Prince Jing used a traditional rod to part the pearls covering Liu's face. The two of them stared at each other for a while, then smiled at the same time. Traditional rod has a footnote. Okay, well, in English it's spelled Xicheng, is a traditional Chinese handheld weighing scale, which is used to lift the bride's veil. The scale has a long handle, so it can be used for this purpose. Why is that so intimate? Why is that so intimate? Prince Jing reached into his sleeve as Liu stared at him in anticipation. He guessed the prince had some notes prepared, or perhaps a special gift for the occasion. But Prince Jing didn't produce anything strange. It was just a long oval box. Inside was a rolled-up painting. Liu unrolled the painting under Prince Jing's watchful gaze. Prince Jing had painted a school of fish. There was a total of 6 lifelike fish, 2 larger and 4 small. One of the big ones was silver specked with gold, exactly like Liu's fish form, and the small ones were gold, and silver, and black. It was clearly the 4 fish babies. But that wasn't right. Liu counted again. Him and the babies should make 5. Who was that extra large black fish in the painting? Liu thought about it for a while. It wasn't until he caught sight of Prince Jing's black robes that he realized Prince Jing had drawn himself as a big black fish. This was clearly a painting of their family. Why am I tearing up? Oh, I love them! I love them so much! They're so cute! He's a fishy just like him. And of course he's a black fishy. I'm gonna die. Oh my god. Liu especially liked this large, majestic black fish. He looked at it for a while before he finally, a little reluctantly, put the painting away. Thank you for the gift, Your Highness. Having given his wedding gift, Prince Jing once again picked up the pair of jade cups they'd drunk from the day they consummated their marriage and filled them with green plum wine. You're insane? You're insane! How could I not be, though? They're so cute! This time, Liu drank first and playfully passed the wine to him with his mouth. We were being so wholesome just now. We were being so wholesome. Sand slowly trickled down the silver hourglass. 2 figures rolled together on the on the marital bed, unable to part. Just as things were at a burning point, wave after wave of infant wails came from the next room. The two of them stopped and stared at each other. Liu was still panting. Your Highness, he pleaded pitifully. The children. This was the annoying part about being a dad. You couldn't just enjoy yourself and forget about the kids. Prince Jing caught his breath, resigned, and went to the next room to bring the kids over. Dabao, Erbao, Sanbao, and Sibao's faces were all scrunched up from crying. They'd finally made it to the marriage ceremony, but their fish dads hadn't even noticed them. Soon after, their dads had disappeared, and their wet nurse had brought them back. They hadn't even received a comforting hug. Even Dabao, who considered himself the most mature, was about to explode. Oh, babies. That is completely reasonable. Prince Jing was the first one to appear. The other babies all quieted down immediately, but Sibao, who was crying too hard and couldn't stop, accidentally started to hiccup. Prince Jing shook his head. With 2 children in each arm, he moved them all to their room. The babies finally saw their fish dad on the marital bed. Nope. Marital bed. I don't know. Those words are the same in my brain. Marital bed. It's because all these martial arts books that I read. And they all grabbed at him, wanting to sleep with him. Liu was surrounded again. He thought he had made another mistake. His lovely wedding night was ruined, just like that. He was just about to apologize to Prince Jing when Prince Jing lay down, blinked at him, and then pulled him down into his arms to rest on top of him. That way, even if they were surrounded by their children, the 2 of them wouldn't be separated. Your Highness, aren't I heavy? Liu rested his head on Prince Jing's shoulder, afraid to crush the man underneath him. Prince Jing shook his head and turned all the children's faces away. Wrapping his arm around Liu's waist, while Liu was still talking, he planted kisses on his lips again and again. He turned the kids' heads away. Liu had no choice but to shut up. The kids were right there. He couldn't make any weird noises. Squeezed tightly together, the 2 of them continued to kiss, on and off, full of love. They waited for their kids to fall asleep, for Liu's time to run out, and for him to transform into a fish. Then, when it was past midnight again, he could turn back into a human. No matter how long the wait was, they would always find the time that belonged only to the 2 of them, and devour each other to their heart's content. End of chapter. Oh my god. I'm so happy. They're so stupid and I love them. Okay, I'm gonna go feed the dogs and get more tea and go to the bathroom. I will be right back and we will continue on to chapter 95, which is Merman Manmer. Okay. I'll be back real soon, burb. I'm back. Hello, how are you? There is Bobby. Yippee. Hello. I'm back. I'm a little out of breath. It's just standing up and sitting down is all. That's all it takes to get me out of breath. Alright, fishy. Merman Manmer. What could it be? What could it even be? This is so fun. Whoa, oh my god! I can't deal with any of this. So too much. Do you think we can get through 2 more chapters today? I think maybe we can. We'll try. We'll attempt it. We'll attempt the impossible. I've made it through 5 chapters before. I think 3 is a good average. That easy? Wouldn't last. I blew too hard into my tea. It splashed a little bit. Anyway, I'm just waiting for this to cool down a bit. How are you? How's your day going? Oof. How's your day going? How's your week going? It's Friday. It's almost the end of the week. It's almost the end. It's the end of the work week, I guess, if you're like that. I'm not. I'm self-employed. Happy Lunar New Year. Almost. It's the week leading up to it, so yeah. That's fun. I want to make bracelets. I'm gonna make bracelets. It's gonna be so fun. I don't normally celebrate Lunar New Year, but like, why not? Literally, why not? Why don't I, huh? Why don't I? My family's too whitewashed. We don't even celebrate Chuseok. What the hell is even up with that? Okay. My tea's alright. Let me stretch a little. You also stretch too. Stretch and hydrate. Ow. I'm also learning so many stretches from Red Note. and like exercises. Not exercises, but you know, like grandma exercises. Although they are pretty intense, so like I don't know if I could even do that. Alright, let's go. Merman Manmer. Say that 5 times fast. Chapter 95, page 189. 189. Alright. Oh my god. Oh my god. No ordinary person would dare disturb Prince Jing's marital night. But Ye Qinghwan was not an ordinary person. Wang Ji had taken care of all the guests. After everyone had a few cups of celebratory wine, they all bid their goodbyes. Only Ye Qinghwan made his way to the bedroom. What a freak! Wang Ji stopped him with a smile. Yeshize, do you want to be thrown out by His Highness again? Prince Jing had ordered no one to be allowed near the bedroom. Even if Wang Ji himself wanted to interrupt, he was powerless. Okay. There's a Chuanju in town, a roast duck restaurant. His Highness had it open for the consort. Due to the special occasion, all the roast duck is free today. If Yeshize is bored, you can take a walk there. Wang Ji had even planned a place for Yeshize to go. Ye Qinghwan had originally wanted to listen. What? Wow. Ye Qinghwan had originally wanted to sneak a listen so he could make fun of Prince Jing a little in the future, but he hadn't expected Wang Ji to stop him like this. He'd even been forced to witness Wang Gonggong showing off his master's generosity, and now he was too embarrassed to stay. You should be embarrassed by the fact that you went to go listen in, you freak! He's such a freak. He's definitely not ordinary. Oh my god, I love you, Ye Qinghwan. The candles are already blown out inside, so there wasn't anything fun he could witness anyway. Just as he was thinking roast duck actually sounded pretty good, the door was suddenly opened from the inside. Prince Jing walked out, half naked, in a hurry, holding something wrapped in a piece of cloth in his hand. He ran right into Wang Ji and Ye Qinghwan. Prince Jing nodded calmly, protecting the thing in his arms without blinking, and walked next door. Ye Qinghwan and Wang Ji were stunned into silence. Ye Qinghwan had good eyesight. Within the clothing in Prince Jing's arms, he caught a glimpse of a section of a fish's tail. The tail of Prince Jing's favorite fish. The one that was silver speckled with gold. Ye Qinghwan remembered it well. There was no way he could have mistaken it. What had just happened now? Ye Qinghwan was shocked. After a while, he asked Wang Ji, stammering, Wang Gong, Prince Jing, how could he run out carrying a fish on the night of his wedding, and in such a state of undress? Wang Ji is gonna have flashbacks to the fishy suck. Wang Ji was also very shocked, but clearly had more experience than Ye Shizi In his eyes, Prince Jing could do no wrong. He quickly recovered and said, as though it were no big deal, Shizi, His Highness is just like that. What is that? Hey, what does that mean? ... Like what? Was Prince Jing into that kind of thing? He sure is, in one way or another. Yet Qinghwan didn't know if he should sympathize with the newly-wed consort or the fish in Prince Jing's hands. This is great. Liu hid himself in Prince Jing's arms, too afraid to peek out. This wasn't the first time Prince Jing had taken care of him after he transformed, so he wasn't worried at all. But because this was the night of their marriage, they hadn't had much opportunity to think after the babies went to sleep. They didn't realize until Liu was about to transform there was no fish tank in the bedroom. Wang Ji had good intentions. When he arranged the room, he'd been afraid that the two masters would knock into it if they got too drunk. So he had the fish tank moved next door. Since it was their wedding night, Liu and Prince Jing were so focused on each other that they hadn't noticed in time. Liu only realized what was wrong when he'd already transformed. Prince Jing had an idea where the fish tank might have been, and rushed out. What? Prince Jing had an idea where the fish tank might have been moved to, and rushed out with Liu to find it. At least they could say that they were the only ones in history to experience a wedding night this chaotic. I'm pretty sure there's more chaotic ways it could go, but okay. Okay, dramatic ass bitches. Prince Jing moved very quickly, not wanting to alert anyone, but he never expected to run into Ye Qinghwan and Wang Ji. Liu took a deep breath. Good thing those two didn't know anything. Otherwise, as a consort, he would never be able to face anyone ever again. Prince Jing put Liu safely in the tank. While he waited to turn back into a human, Liu started to wonder whether or not he should ask the system when he could end this lifestyle of transforming back and forth all the time. It would be several years before the fish babies had to transform again. It wouldn't be fair that he, their fish dad, always had to live in fear of oh my god. It wasn't fair that he, their fish dad, would always had to live in fear that his identity would be revealed, right? Since the growing up quest, the system had disappeared. No further quests had popped up. Prince Jing took good care of Liu. His days passed peacefully. Sometimes he couldn't help but think that continuing like this would be fine too. But after his heart-pounding experience, he wanted to turn completely into a human. Before he got to any of that, though, he had the rest of the wedding night left. The kids were still asleep in the bedroom. They might as well use this chance to escape and change the scenery. In the end, Prince Jing and his consort spent their wedding night next door. The next morning, Liu was draped over his silver rock bed like a fish pancake. Prince Jing prepared his favorite food, wrapping him in a leaf blanket, and then went to see the fish babies, feeling refreshed. As the man with the most authority in the western border, Prince Jing hadn't just given him a wedding vacation. All the villagers were given time off to celebrate too. But as soon as he turned the corner, he ran into Ye Shizi with dark circles under his eyes. Ye Qinghwan had accidentally discovered Prince Jing's secret, and he couldn't be more anxious. He'd gone to Chuanjude and devoured 3 whole roast ducks, but it hadn't helped. When he got back, he realized Prince Jing still hadn't returned to his bedroom, so his worry only grew. Liu was his friend, and Prince Jing was his cousin, someone the entire house of Chang'an had to follow. Rationally, Ye Qinghuan knew whose side he should be on, but emotionally, he couldn't just do nothing. Oh, God. You've only just gotten married to Li Gongsi. Don't do anything that would hurt him. Ye Qinghuan threw down those words, then left. Prince Jing had no idea what this was about. He decided to ignore him. Sometime later, Wang Ji came over, not sure what to say to him. Your Highness, this old servant will just say one thing. You have to be good to the consort in the future. Prince Jing really didn't know what those two were thinking. Li Yu, the fish pancake, entered the system after catching up on his sleep. He had felt like he vaguely heard the system last night, but he wasn't sure. The system always tried to give him notifications when he was busy doing things. Now that he thought about it, he realized he hadn't entered this mental world in a while. The last time was when he'd collected the reward for growing up. The fish babies had all turned into human babies that time, and he was worried about how to explain the fish's absence to Wang Gonggong. The 4 fish babies disappeared together. Then he gave birth to 4 children. Was that suspicious? Fortunately, the reward from the system was 4 plushies that corresponded with the baby fish. That had saved him a lot of worry. The fish babies now each had their own fish plushies, and Liu had a great idea. With the help of Prince Jing, he'd attached a magnet to each baby fish's mouth and tail, as well as his own plush. That way, the plushies could form a line the same way they would play with the babies. Although the fish scamming system was a huge fraud most of the time, sometimes it really did pay attention to the details. After transmigrating as a fish, he'd been forced to complete many quests, all because of the system. But he'd found his other half in this book, and that was because of the system too. Liu had once hated the system, but now he wasn't sure how he felt. He checked the main quest line as usual and noticed a new quest had lit up. So there really had been a notification that last night. After all, they were officially husbands now. They even had the Emperor's approval. Their relationship had gone up another level, so it was time for the main quest to update. The next quest was postpartum care for fish. Liu felt incredibly embarrassed. Before, he'd just thought all the quest names were slightly weird. He'd already given birth to the fish, so what was there to still care for? Oh, right. He was now considered postpartum, right? Liu looked at the description calmly. With the system's usual behavior, it once again had to be separated into steps. You thought there was... Oh my god. You thought there was only one quest? Actually, it's several quests dressed up as one. This quest line... Wait, Liu suddenly realized that 2 of the steps were already completed. Postpartum care step 1. Incubate and hatch the eggs. Complete. Reward awaiting collection. Postpartum care step 2. Feed the fish. Complete. Reward awaiting collection. Liu thought about it for a moment. Hadn't these 2 steps happened while he and Prince Jing were just learning how to take care of the fish babies? At the time, the main quest was still under determination, and nothing had happened. After getting married, the user and the tyrant can no longer be separated, the system explained. You have now reached the requirements for the next quest line, postpartum care. This quest line is different from the others. It will mainly be the tyrant who will be completing these quests. When the first 2 steps were in progress, although the quest line hadn't begun yet, it still had a great effect on the fish babies. Now the system has completed its determination. That was a long line from the system. Liu understood. Postpartum care was mainly Prince Jing's responsibility. All he had to do was lay there. It wasn't his fault he and the babies were the ones who needed care. As expected of the protagonist, though, Prince Jing had managed to complete 2 in one go. What rewards do these 2 steps give? Asked Liu, curious. If the person completing the quest is Prince Jing, does he get the rewards? But his husband probably didn't need anything other than him. Fucking hell. This is fucking bitch ass. The user will still receive the rewards. Each reward is one of the Tyrant's secrets. More secrets. Liu was in no hurry to claim them. He'd just save them. Perhaps they'd be useful in the future. Compared to Prince Jing's secrets, he was more concerned with how to become a proper human, so he asked, "This is already the 3rd main quest line. When can I become a human?" The notification immediately popped up. The 3rd quest in the postpartum care quest line is the time-limited quest, Protect the Pet Fish. The reward involves returning to human form. Do you want to start the quest? Liu was delighted. Every other time he asked about this, he had never gotten an answer. This time, the answer came immediately. He could see the light at the end of the tunnel. What kind of quest is it exactly? He asked. Protect the Pet Fish was way too general. Since this related to whether the user could return to human form permanently, the system explained in detail for once. The time limit is 3 days. After accepting the quest, the user will turn into a merman or manmer and will be unable to move freely. You need the Tyrant to protect you during this time. If you are discovered at any point, you will fail the quest. Please choose carefully, user. So a quest where he needed to be protected. He knew what a merman was, but what was a manmer? Manmer. Nope. Mermen are human on top and fish on the bottom. Manmers are the opposite. Fish on top and human on the bottom. Oh my god, I love this book. In other words, in this quest, he will become half human, half fish, but also not a human and not a fish. It was so over. Now he was going to seem even more like a carp spirit. It was fine if he just turned into a fish. If he turned into a merman or a manmer, he'd be lucky to get Prince Jing to stay in the room with him, let alone protect him. In Legend of the White Snake, the half-human snake Yao had scared the scholar to death. How did anyone want to read more about that? Liu forced himself to calm down. If he accidentally pressed accept because he was shaking, he might immediately turn into a creature that was neither human nor fish. He only had one chance to complete this quest, so it was probably best to warn Prince Jing first. He wanted to succeed, of course. Once he did, his happy future was waiting for him. Liu exited the system. Once he found a good opportunity to turn human, he asked in a quiet voice, "Your Highness, I have a tribulation I need to get through. Can you help me?" And that's the end of the chapter. And I think we'll leave the next one for next week, I believe. Oh my god, I'm so excited for the next one though. It is, yeah. I mean, it's the same length as all these other ones, but my voice is done. My brain is tired from reading. And I taste wood dust, so that's fun. I will see you all next week. The end. God, they're so... Oh my god. I love them so much. You don't even understand. I love them so much. Okay. But I will be going. Man, what's there to say? Next week is Lunar New Year, right? What day, what is it looking like? Okay. There's some things that I'm unsure of what will happen next week, but I do want to finish Later Alligator And I definitely still want to keep it a fish stream. Your brain is tired, my ears are tired from your voice with 2 of them. Wow! This guy. What the fuck? Why are you bullying me? That's crazy. Go listen to my covers to make your ears feel better. Okay. Oh man, I'm so tired actually. I'm way more tired than I thought it was. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna go lie down. I'll see what happens next week, but we should... I don't know, cause Lunar New Year is on the 29th, so that's a Wednesday. And then I think something's happening on Monday. I don't remember. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Stay safe and mask up. Bye.